story to tell.
Right before P-1127 took off for the first time, engineers at Hawker Aviation prepared a detailed report on the prospects of a vertical short takeoff and landing aircraft. P-1127 was an experimental aircraft and the precursor of Hawker's Sea Harrier, the first vertical short takeoff and landing jet fighter bomber. However, the Royal Navy was not interested in this report. During the Cold War, the Royal Navy's Fleet Air Arm operated the Havilland Sea Vixen, carrier-based fleet air defense fighters, but they soon became obsolete and the Royal Navy wanted to replace them. So, on February 8, 1963, the XP-831 prototype demonstrated its ability to land on the HMS Ark Royal aircraft carrier and show its superior features. The Royal Navy had planned to buy the US F-4 Phantom II and build a conventional aircraft carrier like the Forrestal class. But the British government had a different idea, so the plan was cancelled in 1966. The idea of the British government was a light aircraft carrier equipped with anti-submarine helicopters, which was the HMS Invincible that was ordered in 1973. Because there were only helicopters, the British Navy wanted to bring the Harrier to the HMS Invincible for air defense, protection of fleets and helicopters. Hawker developed a version of the Harrier for the Navy, based on the Royal Air Force Harrier GR1. The new aircraft was called Sea Harrier and was identified as Sea Harrier FRS1. It first entered service with the Royal Navy in April 1980s and became informally known as the Shar. The Sea Harrier is a subsonic aircraft designed to fill strike, reconnaissance and fighter roles. It features a single Rolls-Royce Pegasus turbofan engine with 2 intakes and 4 vector nozzles. It has 2 landing gear on the fuselage and 2 outrigger landing gear on the wings. The Sea Harrier is equipped with 4 wings and 3 fuselage pylons for carrying weapons and external fuel tanks. Use of the ski jump allowed the aircraft to take off from a short flight deck with a heavier loadout than otherwise possible, although it can also take off like a conventional loaded fighter without thrust vectoring from a normal airport runway. The airframe of Sea Harrier FRS1 was 90% similar to Harrier GR1, but avionics were almost completely different. The nose of the Sea Harrier FRS1 has been redesigned longer and larger to use Blue Fox radar developed by Ferranti. The Blue Fox can operate in both air-to-air and air-to-ground mode. The information collected is displayed on the screen placed in the cockpit. The aircraft was fitted with UHF communication system, TACAN Tactical Air Navigation System, and multi-channel radio devices. Sea Harrier FRS1 has an automated flight system holding the aircraft at a fixed altitude, speed and direction. The aircraft has a heavier weight than Harrier GR1 due to parts that were changed to use corrosion-resistant alloys or coatings designed to protect against the marine environment. The Sea Harrier FRS1 has 5 hardpoints and, unlike the Royal Air Force, the aircraft carrier AIM-9 Sidewinder air-to-air missiles like the US AV-8A. The main weapons were still unguided bombs and rockets, but after the 1982 Falkland War, the Sea Harrier FRS-1 aircraft were equipped with Martel air-to-surface missiles and AGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles. The cockpit in the Sea Harrier includes a conventional center stick arrangement and left-hand throttle. In addition to normal flight controls, the Harrier has a lever for controlling the direction of the 4 vectorable nozzles. The nozzles point rearward with the lever in the forward position for horizontal flight. With the lever back, the nozzles point downward for vertical takeoff or landing. The usefulness of the vertical landing capability of the Sea Harrier was demonstrated in an incident on 6 June 1983, when Sub-Lieutenant Ian Watson lost contact with the aircraft carrier HMS Illustrious and had to land Sea Harrier ZA-176 on the foredeck of the Spanish cargo ship Arrego. The Sea Harrier served in the Falkland War and the Balkans conflicts. On all occasions, it mainly operated from aircraft carriers positioned within the conflict zone. Its usage in the Falkland War was its most high-profile and important success, when it was the only fixed-wing fighter available to protect the British task force. The Sea Harriers shot down 20 enemy aircraft during the conflict, and 2 of them were lost to enemy ground fire. They were also used to launch ground attacks in the same manner as the Harriers operated by the Royal Air Force. Although the British Navy was essentially satisfied with the performance of the Sea Harrier FRS1 during the Falklands War, but conflict pointed to a number of shortcomings. The main problem is the relatively limited ability of the Blue Fox radar. In 1983, the Blue Vixen radar was chosen to replace the Blue Fox, which was described as one of the most advanced pulse Doppler radar systems in the world. The new radar gave Sea Harrier the ability to control AIM-120 AMRAAM air-to-air missiles, Sea Eagle anti-ship missiles and Alarm anti-radiation missiles. The modified Sea Harrier FRS1 with the above systems and weapons were named Sea Harrier FRS2, later renamed Sea Harrier FA2. Sea Harrier FA2 is distinguished from Sea Harrier FRS1 in the conical shape containing the radar. The main wing was fitted with dogtooth to eliminate air vortex on the wing. The ARI 18-33 warning antenna has been replaced by the Marconi Sky Guardian electronic warfare system. Other improvements included an increase to the air-to-air weapons load, look-down radar, increased range, and improved cockpit displays. The 2-seat training version, based on the Sea Harrier FA2, was identified as Harrier T8. The Sea Harrier was marketed for sales abroad, but by 1983 India was the only operator other than Britain, after attempts to sell the aircraft to Argentina and Australia were unsuccessful. It was reported that the Indian Navy would replace the Sea Harrier squadron with the Russian MiG-29K. After being removed from service, this aircraft will be taken to various museums in India.
My video of the British Aerospace Sea Harrier ends here. Thanks for watching. The video was completed with the voice of Emil N. Thank you very much. How do you feel about this video? If you find this video interesting, please give me your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. Goodbye and see you again in the next videos.